right, welcome to the MacCafe. We do this every first and third Monday at 10 Central. Join in when you can. We're going to have some short demos and some Q&A about the Mac. Anything Mac, voiceover, text edit, pages, whatever you want to talk about. So sit back and enjoy the ride. All right, today we're going to listen to my buddy John Panarese from Mac for the Blind demonstrate a little bit of, what does he call it, text edit, word processing, there we go. Couldn't get it out of my head for a second, so we will start that recording.
The one thing about Microsoft Word and Pages that are very much alike, there are levels of interaction involved with from the voiceover standpoint. So there's normally a document layout area that needs to be interacted with first in a lot of instances, and then you can get down to your document area itself. So let me see here.
Pages, mission control.
Oops, hit the wrong keyboard here. Let's get you.
Text edit. Body edit text. Out page one. Out toolbar.
Okay, so I'm in Pages now.
Document layout area.
So we have the document layout area.
Format, move, and
so you have the toolbar,
document layout area,
vertical
splitter, formatter, group,
and the formatter. So
document layout.
When you go to the document layout area and you interact,
in document layout area, page one.
So this is just a blank document. So if I had a multiple page document open, you would actually use the VO arrow keys. You'd hear page 1, page 2, page 3, etc. And then when you interact
in page one, body edit text, footer group, body header group, body edit.
So there's 3 parts of the standard document, and this also usually goes with Microsoft Word as well. You have the header, the body, and the footer area. So obviously you want to interact with the body of the text. So my point being here that if you're going to use either Word or Pages, you're going to have to interact a couple of levels down. The other thing to be aware of with Pages and Word is unless you have customized it, when you open a new document with Command N in either application, you have a template chooser.
New window collection.
So the blank document template is the one that is chosen by default. There are other templates if you want to experiment and check them out, but I typically just hit enter.
Untitled 8 window, body edit text.
And it will put you right into the body of the document if it's brand new. Now in Word and in Pages, the VOJ, my favorite command for those of you who I've worked with in the past, and I've had discussions about this, VOJ or caps lock J, one of my favorite go-to commands. It works in a lot of apps, and it will jump you between content areas. And when it comes to word processing,
in formatter group,
it will go between the formatter
in edit text
and back to your document in Pages. So it's very easy to get to the formatter, and then you can navigate in the format bar. Format bar is very, I guess, similar to the ribbon in Microsoft Word. And the same principle would work where you can VOJ between the document area and the ribbon when it comes to Microsoft Word. So, just some things to be aware of. You can go into the preferences for Word or Pages, and you can set it up so that when you do a new document, your blank document is automatically the template that is chosen. So you won't have to deal, with the template chooser. Another thing to remember about Pages and Word, and also TextEdit for that matter, is if you go to the menu bar,
Apple,
and you go under the File menu,
Pages, File, menu, ellipsis, open recent, submenu.
So I went down the File menu with VO down arrow, and I have an Open Recents.
Open recent, submenu, rules, 06-10-.
So I have
her room up, untitled 5, clear menu, rules, 0.
So I have like 4 documents here that I could choose between that I've worked on in the past. So this is a quick way to access documents that you might have been using, so you don't necessarily have to go through the Finder interface to locate them. It keeps track of the last 10 documents. I think you can affect this in system preferences in the general area, and I think you can increase it to 20 or 30 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, unless I honestly have not looked in Big Sur if they've changed that or not. But mine still, if I had 20 documents here, it would show me 20 because I changed mine. And the same thing would work in Word and in TextEdit. So TextEdit,
untitled window,
is kind of, it's almost a misnomer in some ways. It's kind of overlooked. People who are not really Mac savvy, when they come into the Mac world, assume that TextEdit is like a Notepad or WordPad in Windows, and it's not. To be honest with you, I do probably 98% of my document management for my business and for personal correspondence using TextEdit. TextEdit is a full-blown word processor. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of a Word or a Pages. So in other words, you don't have the header, the footer capabilities. You can't really do citations. Tables and TextEdit are a little dicey when it comes to VoiceOver. But generally speaking, if you want to do centering, bold, italics, justification, etc., TextEdit is very easy to manage. There are not that many levels of interaction involved. You do have like a toolbar area with different things available to you. But by and large, it's very straightforward, very easy to use. And like I said, I tend to use this for most things. On occasion, I need to use Pages for specific formatting things. I know there may be a few students, college students, who are on this lesson. I don't remember in the list of people, but I know we've had people who are in school now. So TextEdit may not be your word processor du jour because of the fact that it may lack some of the features that you might need for the formatting of your school documents that you have to submit. Now, a thing about Pages to keep in mind is that you can export documents into Microsoft Word format. I have had scattered reports from people that say that sometimes the formatting, when you go to Pages, from Pages to Microsoft Word, a DOCX format, doesn't sometimes keep the formatting. I've only seen that in spot cases, and I'm of the mind that there might be specific circumstances that happens with, because from my experience, from the documents that I have exported over to Word format that I've given out to sighted people and I've shown to sighted people, I have not personally experienced that where formatting has kind of gone askew. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because I've had it reported. I just had it reported by one of my Washington State clients who's in school, and she had a funny issue with one of her paragraphs that when she exported over from Pages to Word, one of the paragraphs in her document was a little off, but it was an easy fix. So, but that's like I said, it's only scattered things that I've heard. Now, obviously with Microsoft Word, you are going to have to purchase it, or you're going to have some kind of subscription. Microsoft still, unfortunately, charges through the nose in some cases, or, has that subscription, the 365 subscription, though. I believe if you have the 365 subscription, you're eligible to use Word on Mac and PC. At the end of this, if I stand corrected, somebody can tell me otherwise, but I believe from my experience that has been the case. I purchased Word, I purchased Office as a separate, as an item, as a bundle. I guess it was the student edition or whatever a few years back, I guess in 2016. Pages, on the other hand, Apple does not charge you for it anymore. They have not for quite some time. It's part of your Mac. You may have to, quote unquote, adopt Pages, Numbers, and Keynote by going into the App Store and searching for them if you get a brand new Mac with nothing on it. I don't know if that's still the case today, but I know in previous versions of the operating system, if it was a brand new Mac, sometimes you had to go to the Mac App Store and you basically just had to link your account to Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, and you were able to download it for free. Even years ago, it really was not anywhere as expensive compared to what Microsoft charges for Office and for Word. I believe I bought Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. It used to be called iWork, the iWork suite, for those of you Mac users who might go back as far as I do. And I think it cost me $39 or something like that. If I remember correctly, I think it was $39 or $49 back when I got it. And I got it on a Black Friday sale years and years ago. So there are other word processors besides TextEdit, besides Word, besides Pages. Some of you may be familiar with, I think it's pronounced Nasus Writer. There's Nasus Writer Express and Nasus Writer Pro. I don't remember what the current retail price is, but you can find them in the Mac App Store, and they will also handle, and you can export into Microsoft Word format. There is iText Express that is available through the Mac App Store. That's a really nice word processor because it also allows you to read EPUB stuff too. And I believe you can export into EPUB if I'm not mistaken. I haven't played with it in a while, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly that you could even export. And I don't remember if it handled PDF or not. I don't want to go out on a limb and say that without knowing it for sure. And there are other word processors. If you do a general search in the Mac App Store for word processors, you'll find others, I'm sure. It's really, I guess, a personal preference if you want to kind of go outside the box of the standard word processors that are, available, that at least that are used more popularly among Mac users in the world. I never like to, as I said in the beginning of this, I never like to tell anybody what to use. But when it comes to teaching, I am, basically either by state agencies or by private clients. It's usually TextEdit, Pages, Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word has probably become a much more popular and common through state agencies these days, as clients are being prepared for employment situations. So Office, obviously is important. So that has been, really something that I've been asked to do, besides the Windows world as well. Now, a couple of notes about specifically Apple word processing. I don't think Word has this completely, and I don't think Word does it in the same way as Apple does it with their products, whether you're using TextEdit or Pages. And that is, as I said, it's Apple likes to call it the modern document model. You hear it, the auto save and version history features. Now, this is kind of neat. For those of you who come from the Windows background and may still be using Windows, as I still use Windows to teach and just to kind of keep my skill set sharp. But a lot of times when you're dealing with Microsoft Word, you get into the habit of Control S, Control S, Control S, Control S. You're constantly making sure that you save your document every, minute or two, especially if you're doing heavy editing, because you never know if Windows is going to hang on you, going to crash, Word's going to go down, and you're going to lose a chunk of your work. Now, what happens on the Mac side, and maybe Microsoft has changed this, I don't know. I've really not looked into it. I still just am in the habit, just because I've been doing it since 1994 or whatever, of doing Control S. But on the Mac side of things, they have the autosave feature. As soon as you open a document, so any of the documents that I just opened in Pages or TextEdit with Command N, the system will start to save the document. Even if it doesn't have a name, it's going to be called Untitled whatever, Untitled 5, Untitled 1, Untitled 2. So that document will keep being updated by the system. And then when you give it a name, then obviously it will save that document and continue to update it and keep a version history of that document. There is a hidden folder on the root directory, revisions 101, that keeps all records of all of your version histories, the autosaves of all your documents.
And that's where we will end it. We'd like to thank John Panner-Breach for that great recording. And now we're going to go into question and answer time. So, if you got a question, just no, we're not going to go with just unmute. We're going to go with the raise the hand feature today. So, if you have a question, raise your hand and I will look at you. Of course, a hand goes up and I'm not in that window. All right, give me a chance. Why am I not surprised? All right, Nancy, what's your question?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
You know the old saying goes is patience is a virtue. I was a little late. No, I was a little late this morning, and you guys thought the link didn't work.
Well, I'm always worried, that I don't have it right.
Nope, that link never changes.
Okay. Well, anyway, that that we're really excited about your class. You see, that's what we're showing you.
I guess so.
That was a great demo. I really appreciated that. My question is, I'm interviewing for a job tomorrow, and they want us to use Word and the Office suite. So is it hard to install? Do you know about that?
I've never used Office on the Mac, but I honestly, I actually have a licensed copy of Office. I think it's 2016, if I'm not mistaken, for the Mac, and it's still sitting in its box. But I've heard that it's pretty easy. I mean, it can't be more than a download and an activation key that you enter, and you off and run with it. But what is the specific reason they want you to use Microsoft Word? Because Pages will open any Word document. Numbers will open any Excel document. Keynote will open any PowerPoint.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Maybe, I don't know if I should ask that during my interview. Hey, can I or should I? I wonder if I should just try it or
But the short
something.
answer is yes, it is easy to install. I mean, I've even heard Office 365 is very compatible with Safari. That I've not heard many complaints about it. As John stated in the recording, I think I skipped over it, but in the beginning he was talking about how Office 360 or how Office has now become just as accessible as Pages and the suite the Word or the Office suite works well with the Mac now. They've really enhanced some accessibility issues that they addressed early on. So.
And it just works with VoiceOver then. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to get JAWS on top of it all.
Oh no, you wouldn't be able to get JAWS on the Mac anyway. So.
Yeah.
You'd have to run a virtual machine or boot camp, which
Oh God, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I did it for a few years when I first started using my Mac, but it was basically just to, slowly but surely get used to my Mac, and once I did, I dumped it. So.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Nancy.
Yep.
All right, Mary, the brand new owner of a Mac Mini M1 that's getting shipped on Thursday. How you doing?
Doing great. I'm a little bit trepidatious about that purchase, but
it's okay.
I'll just offer you what you're asking because I figured I don't really want to get into a bidding war with somebody. So anyway,
right.
It's just more hassle than I want. Anyway, so I'm a little scared that did I really do the right thing here? But I had one was just a comment. I just installed Office, but now I already owned it from Windows.
Now you installed it on the Mac then?
Yes, I did install it on my old
So
Mac, and
that's
it was
that's
just
a
like you
question.
said it would be.
Okay, that's a question for me. Is your activation key from Windows actually worked on the Mac? Because I was under the impression that they were different. They
I I don't remember how it was activated, but I remember that I didn't have any problems with it.
okay.
The
Because
only
like I
things
said,
that
I
you
have
have
a
to keep
copy
in
of it, but I've
mind,
never installed it because pages and numbers gets the job done for me. So
yeah, and the problem is going to be like John Penrose was saying that Word has kind of always had problems importing and exporting documents from other um, programs. So
yeah, yeah. Some
it
of the
just always
formatting and the layout, people have complained about that.
like
Not
formatting and
holding
layout are Word's strengths if you stay in Word, but it's never been its strength if you are importing from somewhere else, and it gets really.
really muddy.
It's. I think that probably yeah, but I wouldn't want. I don't think that's one reason. But the other thing is that sometimes the way that you format stuff is different. Like for Word, just for an example, and if you're at a job where they have fancy formatting or in school, there's things that you have to know. Like one of the things that you have to know about Word is that the a paragraph is defined as an enter. So anything that you press enter on is a paragraph. So like you don't want to be doing stuff like writing a paragraph and hitting two enters. What you want to do, I mean, people do it, but it's not. You're supposed to go in and format the space before or the space after, and that way it'll be different between your paragraphs than it is between each line.
That's too much work.
So it.
I come from the
Well,
typewriter
no, what
era,
I'm saying
and
is it's.
I'm about to say I come from the typewriter era in the '80s, and I,
Mhm. Well,
you know,
once I understood that, I liked it. But I guess what I'm saying is that you kind of have to understand the program that you're using, and
yes,
sometimes
yes,
even if um, you know one of them real well, but that doesn't mean that all the same principles are going to apply in the other one.
yep.
Um, I don't remember what I wanted to ask you. I don't think it had anything to do with. No,
But
I did
as
have a
to your
question, but it
bidding
was
war,
the.
you no, you won the bid. Somebody gonna had the nerve to actually email me and offer a couple hundred below. I was like, look, it's not
Are
even
you
six.
are you serious?
It's not even
Yeah.
6 months old. Are you? I didn't even dignify that with a reply. And then somebody else asked. They emailed and they said, "Is it gone?" I said, "Look, after 10 minutes after I put it up, the person didn't email me. They iMessaged me because they know I don't check my email that often, and it's gone. It's gone." I said, "It's done. It's gone."
Oh man, that's just so they offered you. I mean, I would have offered maybe. Well, I think I originally said took the 25 off, and then I said, oh hell, I'll get $25 worth of free tech support.
Right. No, it was no big deal. It was fine. So it allowed me to.
So
As soon as you sent it, I got the MacBook Pro in the mail, so it was good. So
well, so you got your MacBook Pro. I
yep.
was thinking that you had to buy an older MacBook Pro, but no, you got
Oh
a
no
you
no
got
no!
a
I got a
MacBook
new
Pro.
one. I got the M1. I wasn't going
But you
backwards.
did like this M1, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I loved it.
And
The only difference is because I'm doing more tech support and more teaching. It makes it a little sense for me to be able to move around with it, especially with COVID, get vaccines coming out and stuff like that. I'll be able to travel a little more now. So
you'll be able to. Yeah, well, I like the my little early 2015 MacBook Air is getting a little challenged. Um, and I'm not going to trade it in yet. I might try to trade it in before it gets to where you can't,
yeah.
but it's a cute little guy, and but it just hangs up like crazy.
You might want to,
So
after you
that's
get your Mac Mini, your new M1, and get everything set up. You might want to consider just restoring it to factory and see if that helps it.
that's what I'm kind of thinking about doing. Either that or setting up the new one as instead of it'd be a hassle to get everything back from the app store, but and I can put documents other places and
Well, yeah. I
either
mean,
in
just
iCloud or on
about saying
so
iCloud or
it's not
Dropbox
that
or
big of a
something.
deal.
Right. Right.
Right, just put them somewhere else, and I'm probably going to do that, but I think it does need to go to factory. I don't remember what I wanted to ask because I had a problem with iOS, not with the Mac. So
Okay. Well, if you remember, just raise your hand again.
yeah, let me unmute. Let me mute myself.
All right. Have a good one,
Just
Mary.
wanted to say hi. You too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, Judy P. What's your little question for the day?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
All right.
Okay. My little question though, is it okay if it's not about what we just listened
Oh
to
yeah.
in
Oh
text
yeah.
edit? Okay. So in this other group, the audio editing group, um, we have this the gentleman that is offering these zipped files. I'm just could you
Oh,
tell me
those are
the exact
fun.
steps I made of in let me see. In iCloud Drive, I made a folder, called Audio and Editing, and then you open that up, and one says Hijack and one says Amadeus. So I want to put this zipped thing into the Hijack folder, I guess, and then we're supposed to somehow import it into Hijack. Could you tell me what? Is there a simple way to kind of tell me the steps? Because I've got my recorder on.
Now you're trying to unzip it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know how to unzip it. I made this folder up that I want to put it into, and then we're supposed to from there import it into Hijack. I just wondered if you could tell me in simple terms the
Well,
steps to do that from the email.
I'll
Starting right there in the email.
it's a link to a Dropbox folder, I think, is what he did. I had planned on unzipping them and putting them in the shared folder later on, but to unzip a file on the Mac, you have to have some kind of unzip program. The most popular one is the Unarchiver, and that's a free one that's in the App Store. It's called the Unarchiver.
Oh, okay, huh? Okay, I didn't know you had to do something special.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you go to open it, it's gonna ask you what you want to open it with, and if you don't have, if you had the unarchiver on your Mac already, it's gonna automatically do it. But if you don't, it's gonna ask you what you want to use, and then you're essentially just gonna have to go to the App Store and grab it. I mean, it's a free app, like I said, but you have
Huh.
to go to
So
the App Store and get it.
Mac doesn't supply you with a way to unzip things.
Well, technically it does because it's giving you access to that app to go get from the App Store, but yeah, it doesn't come
Oh,
pre-installed if that's what you mean.
oh, I see. I see. Oh, all right. And then if I put it into this folder that I made, then it said something about going into Hijack and select import. And then what is it? Just automatically know what to import? How does that work?
You have to go to the folder where it's at. So you go to the file menu, you go down to, or you go to the session. Actually, there's no file menu. It's called sessions. You VO down arrow and you go to import, VO spacebar, and then once that pop up dialog comes up, then you go to the folder where you have the session saved and VO spacebar on the one you want to import.
Oh, I see. Okay. All
So,
right.
but like
So
I
my
said,
first step.
I'm gonna be putting those sessions in a folder in the shared iCloud folder where the audio
Yeah.
editing audio,
Yep.
I think it's called, the one that everybody shares. I'll be putting it in there so you can just go grab it from there.
Oh,
But
okay.
it would be a good idea for you to go get that on archiver app from the App Store because there's going to be other things that you have to unzip.
So then when I go to enter that link, it'll automatically say you need to go to the App Store and purchase blah
More
blah, right?
no, it's going to download it first. Then when you go to your downloads folder and attempt to open it, it's going to ask you what app you want to use to open it because you don't have the unarchiver installed on your Mac already.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll try it. Thank you.
No problem. Any more questions? I don't see any more raised hands just yet.
Sorry.
Oh, hello.
How you doing, Gail?
Hi. I want to ask you a question about pages. Um, he, you have to interact. Okay, it was Command N for a new page, and then you have to interact 3 times before you get to the body. Is that what he said? I
I
haven't
honestly
done
can't tell
pages
you
yet.
because I played the recording and walked away.
Oh, okay.
So I
Okay.
came back at the
Well,
very end, but
I think
with pages,
I think
sometimes you do have to interact a couple of times. But the part that you're looking
Yeah.
for is the body or the document. That's the part you want to interact with. But a little tip for you and anybody else who's listening, in order to just be able to interact with the body or the text that's there, you should hide the footers and headers. And to do that, VO command spacebar, arrow down to where it says hide all footers and headers and footers. You VO spacebar on that and you'll have nothing but your text.
Okay. And then if we ever want to do a document with headers and footers, we can always do that, right?
Well, that
At
only
another
does
time.
it. That only does it on the document you're working with. When you open up a new document,
Oh,
they're
oh,
always the footers and headers are going to be there until you hide them. It's not a setting that
Oh,
sticks.
okay. So it's VO command spacebar.
Yep, arrow down to hide footers and headers, and VO spacebar on that. But again, that's every document that you open, no matter if it's new or an existing. It's not going to hold. It's not. It's a temporary. It's a temporary toggle.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
By the way, you didn't raise your hand. You just unmuted.
I know, because I'm not good at I can't find the raise hands. I'm sorry. And then I have one other question. I was doing notes on the Mac, and I was I did VO. Well, I got to my notes, I opened it, and I did the it was in the iCloud, so I did the interactive with the iCloud folder, and then I went over to the notes and interacted, and it took me a while to find what I was looking for, and I was wondering, what is the best way to do it? Is that the best way?
The
or
best way to do
how
what?
do you find notes? I interacted with the iCloud folder, and then I VO right to the notes and interacted again. But then I went all the way up and down my notes to try to find the one I wanted to
Well,
find, and then I
what
had
do
to
you
edit
want
it.
when you open notes? You interact with the notes table, and then if you have folders, you want to interact with that folder table. Find the notes table or the notes folder. Don't go to all iCloud and don't go to created folders unless you know you have the note that you're looking for in there. But if you're looking for a recent note that you created that you did not put into a folder, then you want to go to your notes folder or that it just says notes. That's going to have single notes. It's not in folders. That's where you want to go to find your note.
Okay. Okay. Well, this was the Sunshine Committee, which, I always edit, and I'm wondering if I should just pin it.
Yes, if that would be an easy way to find it. That would be the best way to find it, is to pin it. It doesn't matter what it starts with. It could start with the letter Z. If you pin it, it's always going to be at the top.
And should I pin it on the Mac or pin it on the phone? Would it be the easier?
Actually, it doesn't matter where you pin it. If you pin it on the Mac, it's going to be pinned on the phone. If you pin it on the phone, it's going to be pinned on the Mac.
Well, how do you pin it on a Mac?
VO Shift M down arrow and go to make sure you're on that note, and VO down arrow to that note or to pin, and then VO spacebar.
Okay. All right. Thank you, because I haven't. Still trying to learn it on the iPad. So.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
But yeah. All right. We got a couple more raised hands, but thanks, Gail.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello?
How you doing, Paula?
I'll wait my turn, but I can never find a hand to raise, so I just want to let you know I do have a question, but I'll wait my turn.
All right, Michelle, go ahead.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
So I have a simple question today. I noticed in the emails you send out, there's often a comment in there about it'll have like if you don't have the WebEx or one of the other applications to follow the iOS link or the macOS link, and then you've got the comment that if you have an M1 Mac, be sure to select the correct link.
Correct.
Which link are you supposed to select?
If you have the M1, you select the second link. Well, actually, it's on the page. When you click the link for Mac OS, it's going to take you directly to their downloads page, but they specifically label the M1 download. So it'll say,
I see.
It'll say download here, and then the very next thing will say, if you have an M1 Mac, click here. So it's on the download page.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I thought it was referring to one of the links on the
oh no, not in the email. Once it takes you to the WebEx page, on the WebEx page, it'll specifically say this is for the M1 or this is for the whatever. So.
Okay, that's good to know for someday when I start downloading apps on the Mac or something like that. So.
Did you get an M1?
Thank you. Not yet. I'm still considering it though.
Okay.
So, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mary must have remembered her question. Go ahead and unmute, Mary.
Am I on now?
Yep, you are.
Okay. I know I've been here before, but I'm just still confused about it. Finder. I'd lost a bunch of data last night that, yes, I'm going to be able to retrieve it, and it's going to be a monumental pain. If you're using the column view, you have to point at the place like folder or drive, but not be in it, right? But if you're in list view, you have to interact with it, but you don't have to, but you can be in the folder or drive.
Yes. So list view, you have to
when
interact,
and it'll
put you, it'll put, yeah, exactly. If you're, so say I'm in my TextEdit folder, but I want to move something to my pages folder. Before I paste it into my pages folder, I have to be in that list. So yes, I have to interact. Column view, don't quote me on it because I don't use it, but I'm assuming that you can just be on one of the items that's already in that column and just paste it, and it'll put it where it goes.
It puts it inside, but that's what's confusing because sometimes when at least when I do, paste it like on the drive, that's how I lost it because I know I should have been.
Well,
in the right
I'm assuming
place.
that if you're trying to put it in a folder or a drive, that you actually have to open that drive or folder first and then paste it in there. You just can't like go to the drive and just paste it over it while it's still closed. Yeah, you have to open it in order to get it in there.
Oh, I thought you didn't. That's what I'm confused about because like
I'll check with somebody. I'll check with somebody who knows more than I do about column view because list view is my absolute favorite. I don't use column view at all.
I know John Panarese does, so I'll go through his stuff and see if I can find it there.
Okay, and I have a class with him tonight anyway, so I can ask him. So.
And I'm always confusing.
Maybe your buddy Nancy has the answer. Go ahead and unmute Nancy. She just raised her hand.
Let me get back out then.
No, you can. Yeah, go ahead and stay. Nancy, go ahead and unmute. Do you know about column view, Nancy?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It's so confusing, but no, you don't open the folder. you leave the folder closed. You put your. I had the hardest time with that, but.
So what you're saying is, if I'm moving a file from like documents and I want to put it in iCloud Drive in my TextEdit folder, I don't have to open up the TextEdit folder if I'm in column view. I just paste it over it and it goes in there.
Yes, and that's the most confusing thing. So what I do is I picture it like I have the folder like it's a hanging file, and I put the paper on top of that folder, and then it just magically puts itself in that where you want it.
I'll stick with list view.
Yeah, because the problem. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
But I wanted to say something really quick about people that are having trouble with finding the raise hand.
Hold on one second, Nancy. But does that answer your question, Mary?
Yeah, it does.
So
you mute me, or
you just have to play with it because it's so unbelievable that it works. But
so now,
really
are you going to be able to find your files that you said that you lost yesterday or whatever?
I just can't find them. I looked
your,
absolutely everywhere because it seems like what happened was maybe that drive didn't open. or something.
What
I
about
don't know
what
what
about
happened,
Spotlight?
but they're totally
That's what I was going to say.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. I was trying to use Find and I forgot. That's why I've been a
Yeah, use
Windows user
Spotlight and
for
search
too
for the
long. I
files
should
that you
use
lost.
Spotlight.
Yep.
And Spotlight, the command for that is
Command space.
command space.
Yep, unless you changed it.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't change it. I'm gonna start.
I'm not a Spotlight fan, so I usually disable mine, but it is a great tool because I usually know what I want and where it's at. But trust me when I tell you, if I needed it, I would use it.
Well, if you're a new user, and I'm not really new, but I'm kind of like I went back to Windows for a real long time, and
Shame on you.
now, well, I was used to it.
I know.
There's quirks that I know that I just got tired though of having to use 3 screen readers and 3 browsers, and none of them really work.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, go ahead and mute yourself, Mary. We're
tired
going to
of
have Nancy, and then Paula has a question too. Nancy, you said you tell people how to raise their hand?
Yeah.
Now, are we talking iOS or Mac, or because on the Mac it's easy. So I'm assuming you're talking about iOS or iPad.
I was talking about the phone because you know what? I should actually use that link and install Wex on my Mac, but I haven't done that. And I have a hard time with Wex on the Mac. But at the bottom of the phone, you have the tabs, just like on the, just like if you're using the phone app or something. You know how Matt always talks about looking at the bottom of the screen, and there's participant list, and there's a more button. If you tap on more, then raise hand is the first option right there.
Okay.
Sorry.
And get in touch with Judy because we do great job, Paula. We do some sessions sometime during the week, and maybe she can let you know next time we do, because we definitely got to work on her WebEx and Gail's too. So, and they're working on their Macs on getting Mac WebEx installed so they can do some different things with it. So.
Oh, please let me know, because ski season is pretty much ended, so I'm more available.
Okay. I'll text you next time we go in. All right, go ahead and unmute, Paula. No problem.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, how you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? Did you enjoy the basketball games?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that buzzer beater was unbelievable, but yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Oh, my gosh. I wanted UCLA so bad, and to have that buzzer shot. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was one for the ages, as they were saying.
Yeah, but that guy who did that practices that all season long. That's what he practices.
Yeah, I read the article about that.
Yeah. Well, I have a silly question on notes, and I just plain forgot. I don't have any trouble sharing the note, but I can't figure out, or I'm not doing it right, if I want to copy and paste it. What am I doing wrong? If I'm on a note, I want to copy and paste it somewhere.
Now, we're talking on the phone or on the Mac?
On the phone.
Okay, so what you're going to do is, if I'm assuming you're not using a keyboard, so what you'll do is you'll double tap in the note and make sure the insertion point is at the beginning. Then you want to use your rotor. Remember, I always tell you, the rotor is your friend.
I know, I have to do my
turn
rotor.
it to,
I need a rotor.
Yeah, turn it to edit, and you want to swipe down to text selection. Then, of course, you would put your rotor on however you want to select the text, whether it's words, lines, whatever the case may be. So
that's the part I completely skipped. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay, I think I can do it now. I've been trying to type things in notes to practice on my notes, but I wind up just sharing it because I know how to share it and send it to somebody. Okay, that's all I had for the day. And thanks for telling me how to raise my hand.
Then that'll wrap up this edition of MacCafe, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, thanks for joining us on this edition of MacCafe. Remember, for all announcements and updates, join us at stiritup.com.